What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Rally Point. I know it's been a few weeks. I hope everybody's doing well. I hope everybody's had a good weekend. I know it's like I said. I know it's been 2 weeks. I had some issues with the setup and things like that. That's fixed now. Also, the quality of the stream has all of a sudden gotten better. I think as well, right? Big thanks to the guys who have supported me and supported this channel. I really do appreciate it. But like I said, I hope you guys have had a great weekend. We come here on Sundays just to thanks. Yeah, I think it looks a heck of a lot better. Thanks to you guys. I'm not even gonna lie, and I'm gonna get to that here in a second. Um, but yeah, this is just sort of a place that we come and hang out and talk about this week's interview. I'm actually going to go deep into the last three interviews that I did because I've missed the last 2 weeks. You know, being a dad comes first. Sometimes kids can't. What's going on, Matt Galuso? What's going on to the famous David Cahill? Right, we'll get into that later as well. Um, but yeah, being a dad, that has to come first. You know, some things came up, but we're back. I'm going to get a deep dive into each one of these stories that we missed. But first of all, the very first thing I want to get into today is just a huge thank you. And I know you guys have seen it posted on Facebook. I know you guys have been supporting the channel like I couldn't even imagine. And this has turned out to be something that I truly believe is helping people. And I can see it in the guys that we talk to and see it in the groups, and I it's amazing. But I want to give a huge thank you to you guys because, you know, had it not been for you guys, this wouldn't even be possible. You know, I've had a few of you guys out there that have really pushed this channel to more than what I ever thought it would be. And I'm so excited to see where this ends up. I am it blows my mind. So again, from the bottom of my heart, thank you guys so much for supporting not only the channel but me as well. It does mean a lot. It means more than what you guys will ever know. Well, let's talk about what happened this last week, man. I don't know if you guys have been paying attention, but one of our shorts went viral, right? And I want to tell you guys exactly, you know, Sunday night, I drop my kids off on Sunday nights, and, you know, usually that's kind of like a downtime for me. But Sunday night, I was laying there on the couch and I was watching TV. All of a sudden, the views started going up. I'm like, what in the world's going on? And it took off. I mean, I went from seeing 1,500 views to going to sleep and it was 20,000 views. And I'm like, what is going on here? And it just kept on coming. Like, gosh, what is going on? I don't know that I have ever looked at my phone as much as what I did last week. And I do not know if you guys were looking at your phone. I know Cahill was, okay? Because let's be honest, Cahill with he's going to be noticed out at his local Walmart. Uh, now, but it's an awesome thing. Um, but later on down the week, I seen 100,000 views, and I'm like, me and Cahill are texting back and forth and stuff. That's an awesome feeling. But when I dropped the kids off, we had celebrated that we had hit 100 subscribers on the channel. That's a big mark for me because I'm thinking to myself, okay, well, maybe in a couple months I'll hit a couple hundred subscribers. I didn't tell them all week what was going on with the channel and stuff. So they got in the car and I had messaged Cahill. I was like, it would be really cool if we hit 500 right before I got them. We didn't quite get to 500 subscribers before I got them, but it was even cooler than that was when we got home, I showed them the screen and the screams that came out of those kids' mouth is something that I'll never forget. It was a proud dad moment. And after the last few years that we've had, that this has been amazing. But we were sitting here in front of the computer watching when it hit 500, and the guy who actually got us to that 500 commented on the video, and it said, looks like I'm your 500th subscriber. This project looks very promising." And they were screaming, and again, it was a proud moment, but not only for myself, but for you guys as well. Um, it's just awesome. The funny thing about it is the other night, and then I'll get into where we're going with this, but my son is playing Fortnite and he found somebody that he really likes watching on YouTube. And he goes, "Dad," he said, "do you think I'd get to play with this guy?" And I said, "Yeah, dude, I don't know how you're going to get to play with this guy." And he goes, "You're a YouTuber now. You can just message him." And I died laughing when I tell you it was the funniest thing. So I may not know him, the YouTuber, but maybe we can get Cahill too, right? Because Cahill's the real star of this story, right? It's been cool, guys. It has been very cool. Yeah, Lion, you guys have shown up for me so much in getting the hoodies and the shirts, and I can't thank you guys enough for what you guys have brought me. Honestly, I can't. And it's been amazing. I absolutely I feel like I'm having um a lot of fun with these interviews, just hearing your guys' side of the stories. It has been absolutely amazing to hear these stories. Yeah, Matt Caluso, she had a big smile when it hit 500, and then right now we're at 609, I believe it is. Amazing. They're telling everybody about it. I took them to the gas station to get something to drink before I took them to their mom's, and uh, I told somebody in it the gas station to subscribe to me, and they actually did, which was kind of cool. Um, it's a guy that he's always so nice to them and me, to be honest with you, and he subscribed to the channel, so he may be watching now. And if you are, thank you for subscribing to the channel. Um, but yeah, I did have one other order this week. I believe I'll have to look. But yeah, you know, let's get into a couple different things. I'm gonna dive into the episodes and show some things, the famous short, right? But before I do that, the last Rally Point Live that we did, and by the way, can you guys share this on Facebook? And the reason why is thank you for the sub. I really do appreciate that. If you guys can share this on Facebook as well, I can't really get on there right now. I greatly appreciate it. The last episode I did of the Rally Point, I did not, for some reason, YouTube didn't keep it up. So we're going to go into a couple different things this week. Number one is my nonprofit of the week. Now, This is the same nonprofit that we went over 3 weeks ago, but I want it to be on the channel because it is one of our brothers, Nick Crouch, right? Um, I what he's doing down there in Louisiana is amazing. So I am going to go over Crouch's nonprofit again this week. Him and his wife are doing amazing things. If you are down in the Louisiana area, definitely get a hold of them. They are Mission Field Outfitters. What Nick's doing down there, and I say Nick, but his wife also is doing a lot as well. It's their nonprofit. Mission Field Outfitters exist to ignite transformation and healing among veterans and first responders by connecting them to Christ through purposeful outdoor adventures. They harness the power of nature, fellowship, and faith to build community, restore hope, and empower lives. You can find them on Facebook. So if you're, like I said, if you're down in that Louisiana area, definitely get a hold of them on Facebook, or I'm pretty sure any social media platform. They do the fishing, the the alligator hunting. I know Macaluso's wife, she I don't know. They have a possum as a pet. Down here in Ohio, we do not do possums or up here in Ohio. That must be a southern thing because ain't no way in hell I'm having a possum for a pet. But thanks for sharing it, guys. I truly do appreciate the support. I truly do. But that possum scares the hell out of me, Macaluso. I'm not even going to lie to you. Uh, I may hold the possum if your wife gives me the recipe to the gumbo, okay? But I don't know, man. That's a wild one. And then hunting alligators and stuff like that. Not really my thing up here in Ohio. I try to stay as far away from, you know, animals that may take off a leg or an arm as possible. But you guys just embrace the suck, I guess. Between you, Leonard, and Crouch, I'm sure a few, you know what, Sosby and Washburn do a lot of hunting as well. I don't know, man. I just can't get into it. But definitely, definitely, definitely get a hold of Mission Field Outfitters. Nick is what he has, and I'm going to get into this real quick. The transformation Crouch has made is amazing. You go from, and I forget how many days sober he is. Amazing. Uh, if you guys have not seen the Crouch interview, for the new ones on here, for the new viewers, he is the very first interview we did here on the channel, and it was a good one as well. So definitely check out that interview. Nick and I were very close from Germany all the way to Bamsey. I thought it just amazing transformation. What he's doing down there in Louisiana is amazing. Well, yeah, I know she's not going to give me the recipe. Oh, there she is. I'll never tell my recipes. I knew it was coming. I absolutely knew that you weren't gonna. I I knew you were not gonna give me that recipe, but it didn't hurt to ask a couple times. I'm gonna bug the hell out of you. I'll be honest with you. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna go into that first episode that we missed, right? Because we've had the last couple weeks off here at the rally point. That was Jason Carton. Jason Carton was in my squad, and it's good to sit down with some of these guys that I haven't really gotten to talk to that were in my squad also, because we have the same stories and stuff. I want to tell you something. He and I hope he isn't on here because uh, I don't want to brag on him too much, make his head even bigger than what it already is. But that that man, no matter what kind of firefight we were in, he was always one of the ones that would jump up and you knew he was going to lay down some fire. Long necker petted your possum. Oh no, man, those things have sharp teeth. But um, he he was one of the guys that would get up and shoot no matter what. Hell, at the beginning of that interview, if you guys remember that interview, and I know it's been a couple weeks, but I had put in a clip of him during a firefight. These paging the brakes was what got us in trouble, I think, even with Cahill's story, right? Yeah, you maintenance guys know what happened that day with that heavy fire, caging the brakes. Long necker got you guys into a predicament, didn't they? I won't blame it on him, but you know, it takes a special kind of person to be calm in those situations. And you don't know if you're going to be calm in those situations until you're in that situation. He was always the one that was calm in those situations. And no matter what happened, you could always depend on him. Now, he may have almost shot off my leg because his weapon went off in an RG. It hot fired. It wasn't his fault. But don't tell him I said it wasn't his fault, by the way. He shut off my EOTech inside the vehicle. That was a really good interview for me. And if you've been on this show, I think you're scared at first. You're nervous at first to tell your story. And it's understandable. But what I've always told you guys is it's just like sitting down with an old buddy and just bullshit and tell your story. And the amount of lives that this is, I think it's going to change. I think it's going to change lives. And I think it already has. But I think the amount of lives we can touch by doing this is going to be amazing. I truly do. But getting to sit down with him was awesome. So, uh, just thinking back to all the times that he had to get up because he was rarely one of the drivers. He's too damn big, and his head's too damn big. But but it was a really good interview. Then we went into Cahill, right? Hell, Lion, did you have a misfire or something? What's going on there? I won't say anything there, First Sergeant. Anyways, Cahill story, right? Cahill's story was the short that got this channel really pushing outside of our boundaries, which was amazing. If you guys have not seen that short yet, I'm actually going to share it with you. And then I'm going to give you some context behind this short, okay? I know a lot of you guys in here are from 72nd. You guys were there that day, a lot of you. But I do want to share this clip for those of you who were not there that day and have not seen this clip yet. So let's go ahead and let's share this. And then I'll tell you where I was at. 1 second here.
that day sucked, dude. Like 14 hours, and then Longnecker tries to put that motherfucker on the trailer with a ball of friggin' rebar under it, and then he rips all the airlines out, and we had to friggin' cage all the brakes on the trailer to get it to move. And we're just sitting there getting shot at, and you're just like,
I get this screen moved back over here. I'll give you guys a little bit of a context of what was going on that day. So, for those of you who don't know what was going on that day, that was a long one. We had been getting shot at by that house. Well, not that exact house, but we were going to blow up this house because we'd been getting hit by IEDs all the time there. So we had come up with a mission to where we would blow up that house. There was nobody living there, and the planning that went into this. I mean, there was a lot. Strapping up C4, rigging C4. I mean, I was out there. I don't even know how long in the motor pool taping up C4. Then when we got out there, the Bradleys were supposed to be stationed out there before we even got there to cordon off everything that had happened, or the area in which we were going to be working. They weren't there. So when we went into that building, I was a part of the team that, cleared the building. Which, if you've never cleared a building before, it's not like Call of Duty. I can promise you that. It makes your ass pucker. I'm not gonna lie. Uh, it got the blood flowing. We got in there and we started strapping. Our first mistake was strapping that place up with the C4, right? Which we all know what happened after that. It didn't come down, but start strapping it up with the C4. But I was talking to, I believe it was Carton last night, maybe. And I said, "Do you remember we had?" Yeah, it took a while, Macaluso, to get that C4 finished. We had a lot of that shit on there. But if you guys remember correctly, we had strapped up the C4 inside the building and stuff. But then there was a vehicle going around with a loudspeaker telling the people around the area that we were getting ready, or they were getting ready to hear a loud explosion or something along those lines. Um, no, I do not remember the kids playing soccer during that, which is insane. Hey, you know what? You're going to get me off into a tangent because how how messed up is it that that is the norm to them, for them to be playing soccer during a time where we're having a firefight? You know, we all have kids. Could you imagine? Could you imagine that being your normal? I couldn't. Um, that's a tough one. But I remember that day, and we were like, we haven't even gotten shot at yet. So that was awesome. But then I maybe you guys can tell me who it was. They were in a Humvee with a loudspeaker, and they were just blaring out, get braced for an explosion. About that time, Sergeant Smith came up with a genius idea. And if he was in here, he can tell you this story. He grabs a hold of me and he's like, let's go see if anybody's in the alleyway. A young, dumb private over here. Sure, let's go do it. We look down through that alley. Nobody's down there. And we turn our backs and all hell breaks loose. So there I am, ass puckered and everything, because that was scarier than hell. I'm not even going to lie to you, because now I'm outside of the confines of my vehicle. That is, I mean, we were safe in those things. Yeah, you're right, Lion. I remember it was telling people to leave the area and that to expect a loud explosion. But I get back to everybody laying in the prone shooting up at this building. I'm like, I'll just lay down here and, do that. Start shooting at this building, and then I just start seeing dust fly up in my face, and I'm like, I don't know what, am I, are they coming close? So I just jump up and I move inside the building where Sergeant Buck was, and that day was crazy. And then we finally get it to calm down, and then we blow the building, and then the fire starts again. So during that video that short where all that gunfire is taking place, I'm up on top of the building with Longnecker and Sergeant Lowry. We're suppressing fire, and we would duck back down. And as soon as we stood up that second time and started suppressing fire, we go to duck back down. We hear a round go by our close. I don't know if it was by my face or not, but it was close. And that's what caused us to stay seated, was because we had that wall behind us, but we didn't know where the hell the guy was. And I seen one of the comments on, I want to say it was the Cahill short, and that's what I'm going to call it, Mr. Hollywood Cahill. Um, but he said, not often we see a lot of like combat footage, but we don't know the context behind it, right? And I think that's something that I can do a better job as far as telling a better story of how these explosions happened or how the gunfire started. I think that's important, and like I said, I take all the I wouldn't say criticism, but like all the suggestions to heart, because it's like I want this channel to do big things, and I know you guys do as well. So, KO short, yeah, welcome to my life, buddy. Welcome to my life and all the short jokes you assholes have said over the years. I'm gonna start calling you Cahill Short now. Um, but I think I can do a better job at conveying these stories behind, why we were shooting, what we were shooting at, and the fact that 9 times out of 10 we didn't know where the hell it was coming from. So you go, and that's another thing, right? You look at the World War II veterans and the Vietnam vets and stuff like that. It was real close quarter combat. It truly was. I mean, that a lot of the times when we were doing route clearance, we didn't know where the hell the fire was coming from unless they were shooting a lot, right? Or if we got ambushed, which, Sergeant Wash's squad went through that. And some of you guys, your maintenance guys down there, your mechanics went through the same thing. Longnecker, I know for a fact, Chuck, Macaluso, and I don't know who else was there that day, but it was no, Chuck wasn't there during the ambush. Um, you guys, you guys seen a lot of combat down through there in Bakuba. Um, that's Stumpy. Listen here, an average height for a male. I got an Ohio State shirt I'm gonna wear on the next interview for you, Lion. Um, but again, a lot of the times we would take pop shots, we would get hit by RPGs, but we didn't know where the hell it was coming from. That's the hard part. We knew the direction it was coming from, um, but we didn't shoot unless, you know, we seen the person, right? Um, anyways, that's my story. The next story that I'm gonna go to is the one that we just put out this week. And that was with Chuck, right? Chuck was there during, and I wasn't there. I was out on mission. There were a couple different spots in his interview that kind of stuck with me. And number one being that chlorine attack on Warhorse. That had to have been a scariest day because it's like you're on the fob, you think you're protecting because we didn't take that many mortars, to be honest with you, that I remember. Maybe you guys down in the comments tell me if you guys remember a lot of mortars coming in, but I just don't remember a lot of mortars coming in. So then when we got word, and I'm pretty sure we heard the explosion, but that was that was the first time we had gotten attacked, I believe, on base, other than that mortar with that had hurt. I remember all that. Yeah, Sergeant Hartman, if nobody knows, Mike Hartman does have a Purple Heart from a mortar attack that hit the motor pool. Um, yeah, so that was one of the attacks that we had had. But another one was that chlorine. And I didn't know that chlorine could actually do harm to you. At the time, I didn't. I just knew that we had had a guy come with us that had, I think he was with PSYOP, on a couple missions with us, and he had told me and I believe Sergeant Smith and a couple other guys, Sergeant Buck, and I'm sure Lieutenant Bolton had known about it as well. So if you've seen those chlorine tanks, to say something. And then I think it was just a few weeks after that attack had happened. That was awful, and I thought for sure, I think it was you, Macaluso, that said there were rockets that went in and hit the Georgians' tents. I remember that. I thought for sure that some of those rockets had hit the tents behind us, but I wasn't real sure. Then when you said that, I was like, okay, then because some of the stuff gets kind of blurry, right? You don't know exactly if you're remembering it correctly or not. But then once we start talking and stuff, I remembered it. That was a tough one. Um, Luckily, we didn't lose any guys in that. We didn't. I'm not sure if we took any casualties or not on the fob or not, but I don't remember. Um, Another part of Chuck's interview that stuck out to me, and I think it was Longnecker, he said, helped him through this. But I had heard Chuck say this, I believe it was a couple days before the interview. Sat down, and I think it was me, um, Lieutenant Hunyon. It always cracks me up when I call him Lieutenant Hunyon now. But we were talking to him, and he said, he had struggled with not thinking that he was a real combat veteran, and it blew my mind. He had struggled a long time, and I didn't even think to myself that, somebody would struggle with something like that until he said that he had been struggling with it, until he got into the group chat and Longnecker had said, every one of you are combat veterans. I reiterated it to him because it didn't matter if you were going out of the gate every single day or if you went out sometimes. That place was so hot that it wasn't even funny. So if you were in, first engineers, you're a combat veteran. Don't ever doubt what you did or when you did it, because it doesn't even matter if you were a mechanic, because you guys kept us on the road. And then not only that, a lot of the shit that we did where we needed extra people, you guys were the first ones to say, you know what, I want to go out. I'll never say that you guys are combat veterans. That's something that I'm glad Chuck said something about that, because Chuck actually has something that I don't have, and this is going to crack a lot of you guys up that don't know this. But Chuck has a cab. I do not have a combat action badge, which sure the paperwork got messed up a little bit, but I do not have a combat action badge, which is weird because I was the first out of my squad. I don't know out of the unit, but out of the squad, I was the first one to get hit with an IED, and the second one too, because it went back to back days. We're working on it though. We're working. And then I got out so fast that I didn't even check my DD 214. Right, it was Christmas Eve. But I am I am having so much fun sitting down with you guys. Exactly, Hartman. I am a father. Um, but I am having so much fun interviewing you guys. I'm having so much fun in these group chats. If you have not been on the show yet and you guys want to sit down and just be a part of what we're doing, I am all for it. I am I have a few lined up, but I want to get more people on here. I think what we're doing is changing some people's lives. And if you've been in these live calls, and I'm going to say this for myself, the amount of weight that's lifted off your shoulders, and we're not even talking about, like, a lot of the times we're not even talking about what happened over there. We're just bullshitting and making fun of each other and talking. That has been amazing. That has been absolutely amazing. It's been great. So if you're watching this show and you're a part of 72nd, doesn't matter if you're a war horse or if you were at the amusement park across the river. I'm just giving you shit. Everybody went through stuff. I'm not taking it away from you guys, but join the group calls, man. It has been such a good time. And if you're struggling, no matter when you hit that call button, somebody's going to answer. On the weekends, I can't because I got my kids, and a lot of you guys don't need to be. I don't need to have you on speakerphone or in front of my kids. Okay. I called Lion Santa Claus one night, and I turned the camera around to my son, and my son called him Santa Claus, and he goes, "Listen, you keep acting up, you're gonna get coal for Christmas now." My son has been asking me about that ever since he talked to Lion, which I think is great, to be honest with you. But definitely join the group calls. I think it's absolutely amazing what we're doing, and I think that together we can change a lot when it comes to veterans, because there's other groups out there that do not talk to this day. And like I said, I have had more healing, and I can reiterate what Macaluso said on Facebook. I've had more healing in the last, what, 6 weeks than I have had the entire 20 years just from talking to these guys. If you're a veteran, a combat veteran out there that, you're not a part of 72nd, that's totally fine. I still want to do interviews, and it might open up the doors for your group to do what we're getting to do. I think we're doing a lot of healing just by talking to each other. Um, it's been amazing. So the next thing I'm gonna go over outside of the stories and stuff, I'm gonna do a real quick update. I don't know if you guys have heard this or not. Um, but it's VA news. So as of December 1st, 2025, there is going to be a 2.8% increase on your compensation for cost of living COLA, right? The other thing is if you're in the midst of an appeal right now, from what I seen today, um, and again, I don't get into politics, but somebody was trying to pause it, and some judge denied it. So your appeals are still going to be working even though the government shut down. I wanted to put that out there. I try to put out as much um, VA news as I can. I'm not really good with that kind of stuff. I know Marie is, and so isn't Lieutenant Hunyon. Um, but I wanted to tell you guys that if you had not heard that. This last part is going to be a question and answer. Tell me what you guys are thinking of this. If you have any questions for me, if you're new to the channel, if you have any suggestions, I'm all for it. By the way, starting next week, I found a program that we can start doing roundtables. I think I can put a lot of us in there. So I want to get your guys' reactions to these videos as well during the rally points. So having a couple of you guys on, I agree, Cahill. I want to have you guys on the rally points too, because as much as it looks like it's my channel, this is just as much yours as it is mine. So having you guys on this channel, give me your guys' reactions and stuff like that on Sunday nights. I think it's going to be awesome. It's going to be an awesome addition to what we're trying to do here. So I do have the program figured out. I've gotten to do so much more now, now that I have all the equipment that I need. Again, thank you so much. I'm not sure if they want to, everything to be put out there, but thank you guys so much. It truly does mean more to me than what you'll ever know. But what do you guys think? Yeah, line, round table, round table. Okay. Next week, I'm going to try to figure it out. I'll lay it out on my computer screen and stuff like that of how it would look because I want the image to be kind of clear too. So I might have a few of you guys on there kind of react to the video and get your guys' opinions of it and your guys' stories from that day. Because let's be honest, we don't remember everything during our interviews. A lot of these guys are asking me, what about a second interview? I forgot so much. I think this is kind of our answer to it. I think, sitting down talking about the video of last week is going to help us out a lot. What do you guys think? Roundtable. We're I'm gonna bring people onto the show. I'm going to have you guys talk about, like, let's say for example, you know, the chlorine attack that hit the base, or the fob. I wasn't there for that. I remember it from my point of view, but I know a lot of you guys were there on the fob when that hit, telling your guys' point of view of it. Oh, I remember it this way. More of like a relaxed feel that we do here on Sunday nights and stuff, just bullshitting, talking, and having a good time, and just having you guys on the show. You guys are a part of this. I can't. It's hard. It's a lot easier for me to sit here and talk to you guys while this is during the show than it is to sit here and talk for an hour nonstop. But now that I have the right equipment, I don't have to worry about this part of it as much as I can just focus on everything else. Um, what do you guys think? Is there anything that you guys would like to see during the show that I haven't been doing? Or maybe I can do something better? No smart ass comments, okay? All right. Watch yourself. But is there anything that you guys can come up with as far as suggestion goes? It's a lot of comments here, guys. Cahill, my advice is never stop trying and appealing. Jesse, agreed. Um, what do you guys think about Operation Intel Speedo? That was a suggestion. I might do that for you guys. I don't know. I don't know if anybody wants to see you guys in a Speedo, okay? Especially not fucking Cahill. Now, I'm gonna make an ugly sweater for Black Friday, I think. And, the person who's been talking the most shit to me has been lying. I think I might put his face on the front of the ugly sweater for Operation Intel. I'm not sure yet. Um, please, please don't. That's a lot of hair. Hey, listen, I'll make you a deal. Uh, I'll make you a deal. I will not put out an Operation Intel Speedo, but in order for that to happen, you have to give me the gumbo recipe. I think that sounds like a great deal, guys. What do you think? She's not gonna like that very much. I think it's a great idea with lion on the front of that ugly sweater for Black Friday. Please don't encourage him. I will put out this Speedo. Yeah, Speedo's coming out, guys. I will find a I will find somebody that makes Speedos and I will put it out. Well, listen, guys, I'm not gonna I'm trying, okay? You can't help you can't fault me for trying to get the gumbo recipe. I'm up here in Ohio. We don't make gumbo up here, okay? Anyways, guys, listen. New episode will be out this Thursday. I try to put it out I'm testing a couple different times out to see when it really takes off. Um, we are getting more views on the channel though, which has always been my goal is to get these stories in front of a lot more eyes. I really appreciate that, Cahill. I'm working nonstop on it. And I'm trying my best to learn new things and how to do things as far as editing goes, but I do appreciate it. Everybody's going to be on the call after. It's like a Sunday night ritual at this point, right? We got to get on the call afterwards. Something everybody looks forward to. But listen, Thursday is always the full interview. Friday, I'm testing out the shorts. I think I'm gonna start putting out 2 to 3 shorts a day because that's what really drives the traffic. It's like a funnel, right? Um, yeah, you put out the short, the trailer gets them hooked as well, and then hopefully they watch a large part of the interview. Which be honest with you, our metrics are good when it comes to how long people are watching it, which is always important. There's things that on my end I can do better to keep their attention longer, which I'm working on. I just didn't think it would take off like this the way it has. So, trying to learn as fast as possible. Tuesday is always going to be that trailer. Um, Tuesday is always, yeah, yeah, you're right, Marie. I think, and I think Harton had mentioned, I think you and Lieutenant Hunting had said the same thing to me. about the shorts, and I'm starting to figure it out. I just wasn't prepared for all this, which I guess is my fault, but you guys have slam dunk from you guys. My job's easy. I interview you guys, and then I do the editing and stuff like that. But you guys are the real rock stars of this show, and I do appreciate every single one of you. All right, guys. Well, be looking out for the trailer on Tuesday, and we will be back next Sunday. I have, unless one of my kids does something stupid, right? I hope you guys like this show. I enjoy doing this with you guys. I'm gonna take a break, and then I'll jump on the call with you guys. Thanks for tuning in. Oh, one more thing for the people who did not was not on here before I get off of here. You guys had mentioned the hoodies and stuff like that. If you guys decide, you want to order one of the hoodies, you guys can find it on the site. If you follow Operation Intel Veteran Stories on Facebook, and I'm going to put it down into the description down below. If you guys are looking for one of the hoodies that, earlier they were talking about, you can find it on the site. Let me get over here. Let's move the chat. There's more colors of this hoodie. I think I have like charcoal, I have gray, I have black, and a forest green. At this time, if you order the forest green in the hoodie, it's taken just a little bit longer to get to you. And then the cool thing about these t-shirts, and I thought this was a great idea, was on the sides of these t-shirts. Let's see if one of them shows it. Let's go to this one. Yeah. So I thought it was a really cool idea to put the QR code on the sleeve of it. So if somebody asks you what Operation Intel is, and I think it has a great message on the back, now all of a sudden you don't have to sit there with them and say, hey, go to this channel, go to this channel. You can just say, there's a QR code on my sleeve. Just go ahead and scan it. I think that's amazing. So if you are looking for a hoodie or a shirt, I will be coming out with some stuff for Black Friday. Right now, my margins right now, I'm not, like I said, I'm new to this, so the prices are probably going to stay around the same because there's not much more room I can move on this until the goal is to start making my own merchandise once it does hit where I'm making profit from some of the stuff. I'm gonna get a press and I'm gonna um, do it that way because it'll be cheaper and it'll bring down the price for you guys as well. Um, but I'm gonna put out some more stuff, maybe some mugs and stuff like that that you guys can suggest. If I can find a Speedo, that America, it's gonna have red, white, and blue. I think it'll look good on Macaluso. All that hair, buddy. All that hair. But listen, guys, I'm gonna jump off of here. Thanks for hats. Okay. Thanks, guys. I truly do appreciate that. Um, thanks for always showing up for me, guys. I truly appreciate every single one of you guys that show up every single week, that share everything. Um, everything that I post. If you guys share it, engagement is huge on these platforms like YouTube and TikTok and stuff like that. It's the engagement that drives all these views. So that's my number one thing right now is getting the word out, is sharing it as much as possible. And you guys have been freaking rock stars at this. So thank you so much. I will work on a hat and I still got to work on another hoodie for you. But I will see you guys next Sunday. Like I said, be looking out for that trailer on Tuesday. I love you guys. and I'll see you on the group call.